Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, you guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, we're going to talk about LeBron James and how he's being celebrated for, once again, another fake record, a fraudulent record that they're celebrating LeBron James for. He passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for most minutes played in NBA's history, I believe. He passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar last night when Lakers played against the Sacramento Kings. And LeBron James is being celebrated for minutes played. Are you guys kidding me right now? We've talked about this. How many of those minutes of LeBron James have been spent standing around on defense, not doing a damn thing? Fraudulent minutes, guys. Another fraudulent record that no one ever talked about. You guys ever know that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had the most minutes played? Does anybody ever remember talking about that? I remember talking about that. But we're going to talk about in this video another fraudulent celebration for the fake LeBron James and the fake king. His minutes played in NBA's history. We're going to talk about this video, guys. And I want to thank you guys, man, as usual, man, everyone across the world, everyone across the state. Shout out to everybody in Canada, everybody in Japan, everybody in Croatia. Shout out to everybody in France, the Netherlands, Belgium, the Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, South Africa, Sierra Leone. Shout out to everybody in Egypt. Shout out to everybody, man, out there for real, man. Germany, England, Norway, Ireland, Romania, the Ukraine. I mean, Italy, just everyone, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico. Much respect to all you guys, man. Everyone across the states, New York, LA, DC, Chicago, Ohio, Massachusetts, North Kakalaki, South Kakalaki, Florida, Texas. Yo, much respect. Everybody in Jersey, man. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you. The true fans are standing up, man. And I want to send a special thanks out to Blaine Almeida. Once again, I always hope I'm saying your guys' names right for coming through with the super thanks. Thank you very much, Blaine Almeida. You have been a supporter of my channel for a while now. Thank you very much. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, we want to talk about this fake record, another fake fraudulent record that they're celebrating LeBron James for. Now, if you guys do not know, the Los Angeles Lakers played the Sacramento Kings last night. They won the game. I don't remember the score. I want to say it was 116 to 100 or something like that. They won pretty handedly last night. But that's not what we're going to focus on in this video. What we want to talk about in this video is this fake fraudulent record that they're celebrating for LeBron James last night, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the all-time minutes played list. Now, once again, like I said earlier, does anyone ever remember anyone talking about how many minutes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played in his career? I don't remember these things. But I remember them talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as far as his longevity, as far as him playing basketball until what? He was like 41 years old or whatever the case may be. What I remember them saying is that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was still effective at that age. That's how they talked about his longevity. Right? I believe Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the oldest Finals MVP in NBA's history. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that he's the oldest Finals MVP in history of the NBA. So once again, showing and highlighting that he was still effective, you know, late into his career. Now, maybe did Kareem have all the crazy stats and all these numbers late in his career? No, maybe not. But the effectiveness, the impact was there. This is what we talk about with LeBron James. The impact is not there. So he puts numbers up, but they don't impact the games. They're not helping the team win. The Lakers weren't mired in mediocrity when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was there in the last couple of years of his career. They weren't fighting for a quote-unquote play-in spot or fighting for the playoffs every year. No, they were still a very good team. They were still a formidable team. Hence, they were in the NBA Finals in 1989. Were they not? So when we think about all these things, guys, this is what we're alluding to. We talk about Kareem, and that's what they talked about his longevity. The skyhook that he had, that went to his longevity, right? And the ability of him to have a go-to move that he developed that really only he mastered, and that he was able to use this move when it mattered most, right? So once again, this goes to the effectiveness, the impact of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, not to mention his defensive abilities, and like I said, him not standing around. So when they talk about LeBron James, and they talk about, oh, LeBron James, I saw in the article, they said that, oh, LeBron James leaps over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar again, right? And I laugh when they said that, because what did he leapfrog him in? He leapfrogged him in minutes played and points, total points. Who cares? Has he passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in MVPs? No. Has he passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in championships? No, he actually hasn't. So really, what are we talking about? Once again, they're celebrating mediocrity. They're celebrating stats and numbers for LeBron James when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and all the other all-time greats before him, they were not measured just merely off of their stats. And once again, we know now that the stats of this era are fraudulent. These guys are getting all these fraudulent stats. Everything's inflated now. The way these guys account assists. You guys have seen my man Uncut Hoops. You've seen Angry Old Hoops. They've highlighted and exposed this stuff. The rebounding out here is a joke, man. Are you kidding me? There's no big men. You're telling me Kareem Abdul-Jabbar couldn't dominate the boards in this era? If Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played against these weak big men, against these soft, frail guys, he would be killing it. His numbers would be, what would they be now? How many points would Kareem Abdul-Jabbar be able to score if he wasn't having to go against the Moses Malones or some of the all-time great centers that he was going against back in the day, like Will Chamberlain and Willis Reed and some of these guys, man? So once again, the competition today, the errors get exposed. And they continue to celebrate LeBron James for passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the minutes played list. But I've told you guys what on this channel. When you think about the quote-unquote minutes played by LeBron James, it's fraudulent, guys, because over the last 10 seasons, last 10 years, guys, not over the last year or two, over the last 10 seasons, LeBron James has not sniffed an all-defensive team. He hasn't won an MVP award, right? And once again, LeBron James has needed to stack up the odds in his favor, building super teams in Cleveland, right? And then building up a team in LA, right? Having Anthony Davis literally request a trade, force his way out of New Orleans to come play with LeBron James. Aren't they under the same agency? So this is all weird stuff, guys. This is all fraudulent stuff, man. And no one ever calls LeBron James out for this. That wasn't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? He wasn't calling guys up and forming all this stuff. No, he was still effective for the Los Angeles Lakers, playing in an era with other all-time great teams, man. Battling against the Boston Celtics, battling against the Detroit Pistons and the Philadelphia 76ers, the Houston Rockets, right? Some of these other teams that were in the NBA that were very formidable back in them days. So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's minutes played are actually way more respected than LeBron James' minutes played, because a lot of those minutes that LeBron James has on the court that he actually played, that he's logged in his NBA career, he's standing around the court. We've talked about this, man. You guys have seen the video footage. It's not me just saying this. The video footage is out there. LeBron James standing around for minutes and minutes and minutes at a time while the game is being played. Here's LeBron James arguing with the referee while the play is going on behind him. I told you about that play. LeBron James was arguing with his own bench because he wanted them to challenge it and force a replay, right? He wanted them to challenge that. So he's arguing with the Los Angeles Lakers bench while the play is going on behind him. They're literally playing basketball behind him, and he's not even paying attention. He's too busy arguing and carrying on and being emotional. And once again, not being a true leader or a true professional, not being a true competitor, just out there crying and moaning. And those are minutes. That's counting as minutes he's been on the court. How many minutes have you seen of LeBron James blowing on his hand in the middle of a play? Blowing on his hand, standing in the corner, doing literally nothing. Literally nothing. He's standing there, hiding out, camping out, because this is what LeBron James does. On the defensive end, if you haven't noticed, and I'm sure you have, if you're being honest and you're an actual true fan of basketball, what you've noticed is many times LeBron James will guard whoever's standing in the corner. Whoever's the least engaged person on the other team, that's who LeBron James will decide to guard. So he'll stand in the corner all game long and just stand there and guard that, camp out on that three-point line in the corner. That's LeBron James. He won't rotate. He won't play any help defense. How many times have we seen the replays? LeBron James ain't playing help defense. I want you guys to remember the Kyle Kuzma pushing the back that we've talked about many times on this channel. That actually was minutes. That's counted as minutes on the court. LeBron James had to be shoved in the back to make a rotation. Those counts as minutes played. So he surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's minutes played, and those are some of the scenarios that have happened on the court that LeBron James got minutes played for. I've never seen Kareem Abdul-Jabbar get shoved in the back by Magic Johnson or James Worthy or any of these other guys, Byron Scott, or any of these guys that were on that team. I don't remember them pushing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the back to play defense, to make a rotation, to play help Team D. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was always an excellent defensive player and was always a great team defender. This is what helped guys like Magic Johnson be even better. Magic Johnson has a couple of steals titles. Why do you guys think that is? Because he can gamble more on the defensive end and take chance in the passing lanes when you have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar standing behind you. That's the whole point here, guys. LeBron James, he ain't never been that guy on the defensive end. He's always needed the other teammates to play defense for him consistently. He's needed those other guys to step up and play that role. That's why his team always needs to get defensive guys like Shane Battier, right? And the J.R. Smiths. They need guys like Richard Jefferson to help play defense. The Matthew Dellavedovas, the Tristan Thompsons, right? The Dwayne Wades, the Chris Bosches, the Birdman Andersons, the Udonis Haslams. You need those guys to play defense for you. right? You think about his first stint in Cleveland. They had guys like Zydrunas Ilgauskas and Drew Gooden, right? Larry Hughes, right? These are the guys that were known. Anderson Varejao. People laugh at these guys when you read their names off, but those were the guys doing the dirty work for LeBron James because he wasn't going to do the dirty work. They were the guys hustling out there. They were the ones doing all the effort, giving all the effort, all the hustle for LeBron James to support him. But his fans will turn around and say, oh, LeBron James got no help. LeBron James got no help. Those guys were helping out there. They were doing their jobs. They were playing their roles. The problem has always been LeBron James has never raised his level of play, or once again, he takes away from his teammates by not allowing them to be in an actual system. So when you talk about the minutes played, they celebrate LeBron James for another fraudulent record. Minutes played? Really, we're celebrating the minutes played by LeBron James when we literally watch him not play basketball on the court for minutes. Standing around, not giving any effort, not giving that hustle, not playing the defense, walking off the court early. This is what LeBron James does. But they're going to talk about the minutes he played as if he's some crazy competitor out there. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wasn't walking off the court early as often as LeBron James does. This guy walks off the court every year, every game. This always happens. He's doing something out there. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't make all these excuses. LeBron James always making excuses. He comes to a post-game press conference, makes an excuse. Oh, we didn't win this because of this. Or we didn't get this because of that. Meanwhile, his team is getting plus 500 free throws every single season at the free throw line. So what are we talking about here? The minutes played from LeBron James? The minutes played? It's an absolute joke, guys. It's fraudulent, man. This guy has not played defense in over 10 seasons, man. In over 10 seasons. That was never Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar never had the luxury of standing around on defense. He actually had to guard guys down low. He had to play defense into his late age because he's going against some of the younger stars coming into the NBA. So he had to go against Hakeem Olajuwon while Hakeem Olajuwon was young, and he was an older player. He had to go against those guys. Once again, man, these are the facts. He had to go against Moses Malone. He had to go against a Robert Parrish, a Will Chamberlain. Right? He had to go against a Willis Reed. He had to go against these guys, the Mark Eatons. As an older guy, man. So once again, there wasn't no time for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to just stand around the court, to lollygag, to walk back on D and allow the Lakers to play 4 on 5. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the anchor for the Los Angeles Lakers defense. He was literally the anchor. LeBron James ain't never been no anchor on defense, man. He ain't never been that guy. When you thought he could have been an anchor or he should have been an anchor, he wasn't that dude. Once again, he's being helped and carried by the players around him. So when they talk about, oh, LeBron James was robbed of a Defensive Player of the Year award, or LeBron James in Miami was a great defender. No, he was not. He was only appeared to be great on that team because he's playing with Dwayne Wade and a bunch of other guys that play defense, like Shane Battier, like I mentioned, like a Ray Allen, like a Udonis Haslem, like a Chris Bosh. All of these guys were stepping up their games to assist LeBron James in the things that he could not do consistently. And he was never a consistently great defensive player, which is why he's not, known, right, or respected as an all-time great defender. There's no one that thinks LeBron James is a top 5, top 10 defensive player of all time. LeBron James is not even a top 20 defensive player of all time. He's not even a top 50 defensive player of all time. Those are the facts, man. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is easily a top defensive player in the history of the NBA, one of the top defensive guys. Because he earned his reputation out there with the consistency and the way that he was able to play late into his career. No excuses made, no standing around, no walking back on D, no arguing with the refs every time down the court while your team is playing defense. These all count as mitts. How many times have you seen LeBron James get grazed, never even get fouled, and then he'll stand around the court for minutes, rubbing his head, rubbing his arm, complaining once again to the referees about a foul that he didn't get, that he thought he was fouled, and he's standing around there. Those are minutes, guys. Those are counting as minutes LeBron James has logged on the basketball court. So if LeBron James is averaging 35 minutes a game, we could easily say that about 5 of those minutes are spent standing around on defense with his hands on his hips, blowing on his hands, rubbing his chest, just standing in the corner, walking back on D, or what? Arguing and crying to the referees. That's what those minutes really accumulated to. So if we started talking about or started watching videos and we started to really highlight and really count the minutes that LeBron James has spent playing basketball, actually running up and down the court, giving effort on the defensive end, right? Just hustling around, diving on the floor for loose balls, hustling for rebounds, right? If we actually talked about that and actually started to measure the time that he spent doing those things, then we would find out that he's nowhere near Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's minutes played, because the key word here is played. Excuse me, guys. Let me just get some water real quick. That's the key word, played. Because what do we see from LeBron James? He's not playing basketball out there. You're standing around. So he's not playing minutes. He's standing around. Those minutes should not count. Just like they don't count his turnovers, right? They won't count all the travels that he has, all the palming violations, right? They'll count his assists a certain way. So you see what they do? For LeBron James, they count certain numbers for him in his favor, but the other numbers, no, they won't talk about those things, or they won't call those or officiate those the correct way. How many turnovers will LeBron James have? I've always told you guys this. How many turnovers would he have if they actually called the carries, the travels, the offensive fouls? How many turnovers would he have, guys? How many assists would he have to those turnovers if they really counted the assists the way that they used to in the 80s and the 90s? Not the way they count them now. He would not have as many assists. He'd have way more turnovers. And this, what we talk about, LeBron James' playmaking is not really that great. It's overhyped. The man has a lot of turnovers that they don't even count, that he would have way more, and he gets a lot of frauds and assists. These are the facts. The same as the minutes played. He's played this many minutes, but when you watch the actual game, he's not playing anything. He's not playing basketball. He's standing around doing the opposite of playing basketball. See, basketball is one of the few sports, guys, where you have to play both sides of the ball, right? You have to play. That you're not designated to a certain area of the court or on the field like some of these other sports where you're like, oh, I'm a defensive guy or I'm an offensive guy, and my job is to attack and attack. Where these other guys, their job is to get back or play defense and things of that nature. In basketball, you have to be able to play both sides of the ball. That's what makes two-way play stand out more in basketball, because you're supposed to play both sides. You don't just play defense and then have another team play offense. This is not football. You have to actually play both sides of the ball. And once again, this is what highlights the great players. When we talk about the great two-way players in NBA's history, they stand out. Why? Because in basketball, you can impact the game on both sides. And the great players, the greatest players in NBA's history, are able to impact the game in other areas, right? Not just one area. They're able to impact the game in other areas, whether it's offense and defense simultaneously at a high level, or it's offense and leadership, right? Things of that nature. Getting the most out of your teammates, galvanizing your team, right? Running the show. You think about Magic Johnson, the way that he's able to galvanize the team around him and make the game easier for everyone to play, right? That's how he mastered the game and helped his teammates become great and help them help him. So once again, these are things that we're alluding to. LeBron James ain't that dude, and he was never playing those minutes like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was playing those minutes, or like a lot of other all-time greats played minutes. Minutes. When we talk about the minutes that Wilt Chamberlain was playing, or the minutes that Bill Russell was playing, or Bob Pettit, or George Mikan, or Oscar Robertson, or Jerry West, or Paul Iverson, some of these other guys, Elgin Baylor, the minutes that they were playing back in the 60s and the 50s is a lot tougher and harder than the minutes that they're playing today. Once again, how many times have you guys seen AOH's channel and he shows you guys how much time these guys spend not doing anything, right? A lot of times when we watch games, we don't realize how much downtime is in a game, right? You can go to commercial breaks and things of that nature. But AOH has highlighted this many times that during NBA games, when we go to commercial break, these guys are hanging out. They're lollygagging. So there's a lot of downtime in between the game, not just the timeouts or the official timeouts or penalties or, reviews of the plays or any of these kinds of things. There's also a lot of downtime of the commercial breaks and all these other things. So the minutes that they're playing are not like the minutes guys played back in the day. Like I said, playing in Chuck Taylor Converse canvas sneakers on bad, crummy floors when people were allowed to smoke in the arenas. These guys were playing minutes in the NBA under those conditions. It's not the same. What Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was doing is not the same. It's a lot harder than what the conditions LeBron James has played under his entire career, man. Once again, being carried by the NBA, by the referees, right? All the advancements in medicine and nutrition, all the help that these guys get today, the travel, right? They spread the games out now, so they're allowed to rest more often than they were back in the day. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't have the time, the kind of rest that these guys have today. The minutes that Wilt Chamberlain was playing, are you kidding me? Bill Russell, the dude was averaging 47 minutes a game, 46 minutes a game, almost every single year, never coming out of games. And he wasn't standing around, lollygagging, blowing on his hands, standing in the corner. They were actually playing and giving effort out there. And they were playing in a physical league where they were taking heckles and all kinds of weird things from people in the crowd. But they want to celebrate LeBron James' minutes played. Are you in this weak era? Are you kidding me? These are the easiest minutes in NBA's history. How hard is it to play minutes in this league? They're not doing anything. Literally doing nothing. How long could Kareem Abdul-Jabbar have played if he was in this weak era? He was able to play that long in that era under those kinds of conditions. That's called true durability, right? That's called true longevity. Well, LeBron James is doing lollygagging, sashaying, picking and choosing what games to play, load managing, flopping around the court. These are all minutes being played. So all those minutes counting, LeBron James is flopping. How many minutes did LeBron James spend flopping on the court, guys? How many minutes? It's an absolute joke. Are you kidding me? But they're going to celebrate LeBron James passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? He ain't passing him in championships. He ain't passing him in MVPs. I thought that's what LeBron James is supposed to be playing for. Kareem wasn't playing for the stats. He wasn't going out there chucking up all these shots those last 3-4 years he was in the league. He was playing a team game and doing what he does, rebounding and playing defense and being a true leader, being a professional. It's not LeBron James. Kareem is leading by example. LeBron James is do as I say, not as I do. And once again, ESPN promotes LeBron James for the minutes he's played when we all know that those minutes are fraudulent, man. You're telling me Michael Jordan at 39, 40 years old, on the last year on the Wizards, averaging 37 minutes a game, is the same as LeBron James at 39, 40 years old in this year on the Lakers, averaging 35 minutes a game, whatever it is he's averaging this season. You guys think those minutes are the same? They're not the same. When you watch how Michael Jordan was approaching the game, how he played the game, the effort he gave, it's a night and day, guys, compared to LeBron James. So once again, those minutes are fraudulent. They're exposed. He's getting minutes just standing around, lollygagging, flopping around, arguing with the referee. These are all counting as minutes, guys. The clock is running while LeBron James is arguing this stuff, crying and moaning, standing around on one end, carrying on, milking an injury, rubbing on his head. The clock is running oftentimes while this is going on. Those counts as minutes played, guys. Fraudulent. You guys know the deal. These are the facts, man. AOH has the video footage to support everything that I'm telling you guys. Uncut Hoops, these guys have all the video footage to support this stuff. I'm not just talking to talk. These are the facts, guys. This is never hate. Remember, the truth can never be hate. And the facts remain. The minutes that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played are much more difficult, and they were much harder. They came in a much harder era, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did not flop around, walk around as much as LeBron James did. His minutes are much more valid, and they're much more respected than LeBron James and his fraudulent minutes that he's been playing over the last 10 seasons or so. You guys know the deal. These are the facts, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.